up with Martin Ackley as folks are making their way to school this morning. He's the Director of Communications for the Michigan Department of Education. Thank you for being available.
Good morning, Michael Patrick.
Boy, there's always interesting topics to talk about. We were just yesterday talking with Representative Phil Potvin on the idea of what do we do with these school days, and apparently the winter is not quite over yet as we hear rough weather coming into Michigan again. Where do we stand on the whole idea of either extending the school year by a week or a number of days as opposed to putting a little icing on the cake each day, 5-10 minutes, and then that way we don't have to extend the days?
Well, current law provides for schools to, just add time to it because they have to have at least 1,098 hours of instruction or in the minimum of 170 days. And they're allowed by state law to have 6, like snow days or days that they're closed for reasons outside of their control. And so what's happened, this is like you used a great word earlier today, the weather's been dreadful this winter,
yeah.
And school has been closed probably more than normal. And so school districts are getting to the point where they're at that 6-day limit or beyond it. So they're having to look at having to add time to their calendars. And the State Board of Education and State Superintendent Mike Flanagan have come out saying, it's a better strategy just to add days instead of hours at the end of the day, to add full days, because that allows children to get a full day of instruction as opposed to adding 5 days at the end of the day or 5 days to a class, because everybody knows kids get tired at the end of the day, they start looking at the clock, and so if you're adding time at the end of a day, the quality of instruction really isn't as good as say a whole day is replaced as sometime during the rest of the year.
That kind of thing affects all sorts of people that you might not think about, but you probably have thought about it. But the average listener, we have to, we were with Kelly Dean yesterday from Dean Transportation. They have an entire network of buses, that it affects when you have logistics to deal with and scheduling and so forth. Not to mention the average parent who works and manages, what do I do with my child? And then you get tourism involved too, because they're eager to get summer started, aren't they?
I'm sure they are, and that's why one of the issues here is that the state law also prevents schools from opening before Labor Day, and that was done for the tourism industry. So I mean, the school year has really kind of been squeezed into this in a few months window here, and so what we're trying to do is really look at what's best for the kid. The children need full year's instruction, so they should not be shortchanged because of the weather.